it's neurotransmitters. Sometimes it's inflammatory markers, like things we call cytokines. And recently, the last 5-10 years, it all comes back to what happens in the gut. And now what we know is that the microbiome, this collection of bacteria, trillions and trillions of bacteria in your gut, determine in large part how we feel. So we say to people all the time, how you feel is not just in your head, it's also in your gut. To focus them on the gut, what we call the second brain now, that's the source of the majority of your neurotransmitters. 90% of your serotonin that helps us be happy is made in the gut. About 70% of our dopamine, the neurotransmitter of motivation, is made in the gut. Most of our GABA that helps us relax when we're stressed out is made in the gut. So we've been doing that, looking at the gut and talking about the gut-brain axis, right? What happens in the gut doesn't stay in the gut. It gets transmitted to the brain across this axis. That can help us feel better. What we've discovered in just the last year or so is that that same management of your gut and your microbiome and your gut-brain axis is also related to your metabolism. And so we've found a really, really game-changing way to harness what happens down at the level of your microbiome to enable people to finally lose weight in a much easier, much more directed, much more, I don't want to say simple, but that's what people are referring back or are saying back to us. They're saying this has made things a lot easier. Is at the root of the problem is that it's not a math problem. It's not, how much you eat and how much you burn off. It's what we refer to in the field as a signaling problem. So just like I said a few minutes ago, the signals of how we feel, our mental wellness signals, start in the gut. Those are neurotransmitters. They're things like short chain fatty acids. But there are also signals that originate in the gut that will drive your appetite, your cravings. What are you hungry for right now? Are you hungry? Are you satiated, full? There are also signals that come out of your gut that signal your body to be in a fat storage state or a fat releasing state. There are signals that come out of the gut, out of the microbiome, that determine how we handle blood sugar. And that's going to be that's going to be important for your appetite. It's going to be important for your fat metabolism. Are you burning fat calories? Are you storing fat calories? So there's a lot going on at the level of the gut that we didn't know about. So it's a very, very different approach than anything that has ever been done before. And that's why I'm really excited about it. Not just that it's effective, not just that it's new, but finally it's this new level of science that we can apply to people's lives, and they can really start getting some of the benefits. And I'll say this last thing, Sarah, and then I'll hand it back over to you. The people who are really going to love this are the people who are already doing, and I'm going to do this in quotes, everything right. There's nothing more frustrating to somebody who's trying to lose weight, who has a good diet plan, who has a good exercise plan. They're doing everything right, and yet they're not budging. Their weight is not dropping. Their inches are not dropping. Their fat percentages are not dropping. They are stuck. And there's nothing more frustrating than doing everything right, putting all the effort in, and getting no return back out. What we're doing by focusing on what's happening at the level of the microbiome is finally helping those people get unstuck, finally enabling them to keep their foot on the accelerator, but take their foot off the brake. And what they'll find is that the same program that they've been doing that hasn't been yielding any benefits with these little purple pills is going to finally gain traction. And they're going to go, oh my gosh, it was like a switch was flipped in my body, and now everything's going in the right direction like I planned for, and wasn't getting those benefits. That's the person who's really going to see these benefits.